we were starting to get into that before this all happened. We were starting to stream. Like, I invested in this Sling studio thing that like lets you bring in 4 cameras and do like a sitcom thing, and we were getting started like filming stuff for broadcast. And then and we were even talking about doing a sitcom like in the early days when it was still uncertain, like could we gather, oh it's like limited to under 12 people, but we were still thinking about doing like some kind of fundraiser sitcom type thing for Cold Town, I think. And they launched their Twitch channel, or they had a Twitch channel, and then they just went full steam into it. The Hideout went full steam into their Twitch channel. New Movement has a Twitch. Everybody just suddenly filled in this space and brought their communities like to Twitch, and it's been incredible to watch. It all just sort of blew up. But meanwhile, I was like, I had my finger on the button to like post about our streaming services and how we were going to launch a Twitch channel, and I waited a week, and in that week, like everybody else had a Twitch channel, and it's and at the time, I think early on, we were still trying to do a little bit of like we still thought maybe we can keep the band going remotely, somehow. And
Somehow we
I
can send each other tracks and
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think, and that was the thing that you brought me in on for Salvage Vanguard Theater was I think that was officially our first like live stream.
It's
Um
the only one that I've done.
is it? Wait, you've
Yeah.
done readings.
Oh, sure, sure, but I feel like that's different. Those
Oh,
were rehearsed and scripted and,
hmm.
but as far as just, "Hey guys, it's Amber going live,"
Whoa, so
like
this is
that,
the second one for you.
and just about a year later, because I
What?
feel like that was so early on. That was what, April?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'll show the clip so that we know for sure because it's got the date on it. So I'll just show the clip of like this is a tiny little clip from our very first stream, and then a few other things like so we started to pick up some Steam stream. We did start with the
Mhm.
Worry Folks SVT stream, and then Austin Creative Alliance wanted some help with their happy hours, their
Mhm.
artist happy hours, and then we got into launch parties for podcasts that we had been working on already pre-pandemic, and we're just like
Yes.
finishing up through the
And
pandemic.
and that's when I came on board at Make Every Media, was around Deferred Dreams launch
Okay.
party.
Oh,
Like the launch
sweet.
parties were my first event for, so I guess I was involved with a live stream, but this is
Cool. So the
yeah.
last clip is from Deferred Dreams. So you were that's right. You did some of the art for the Deferred Dreams clip. Cool. All right. So this is Amber's introduction to Make Every Media, and our introduction to streaming in a like 2-minute video clip. Here we go.
As we all are dealing with this ever evolving tidal wave of change, I am so happy to be here with Michael Furstenfeld and Seth Cleveland.
Hi.
We are three of many members of the Worry Folk.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Austin Creative Alliance's Artist Happy Hour. This is the very first one of a series of conversations that we are going to have with artists around certain topics. This week is parenting, art, and life in the time of COVID-19.
Make every media.
I have two local Austin artists, Ken Webster and Beth Webster, in the house. Ken Webster, also known as the artistic director of Hyde Park Theater.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for being here. And Beth Webster, the writer of a new podcast called Come and Take It.
Hi, Michael.
We want to help people tell their stories. We love the artists in the city, and we want to be able to help as many of those people as possible. So we came up with this program, the Podcast Hatchery, to try to fund the creation of artist-driven podcasts. More about that at patreon.com/makeeverymedia.
Scorpio is directly across Taurus too.
They're versus each other. If this is Mortal Kombat, this is like, that's the bracket. They're just like doing this the whole time.
Just a bunch of shoulders moving,
That'd
ready
be
to throw
cute. Why
some
has no one made a
punches.
Zodiac fighting game? I would play the shit out of that.
Oh, I would play the shit out of that and also trademark.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome, everybody. We are streaming live this launch party for the pilot episode of Deferred Dreams, which is a podcast we've been working on for months now. We recorded a bunch of panel discussions starting in late 2019. And I have the creator, the ideator, the founder of this podcast, Chelsea Hernandez, with me here today. She's a documentary filmmaker. She's got a documentary, Building the American Dream, coming out on PBS next week. Isn't that right?
Yes, yes.
I'm wearing my merch.
Yes, looks great.
Yeah. So you did that graphic for Deferred Dreams in the background there, right?
I did.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that was so fun. It had been before, in the before times.
In the before times.
I had been I think fortunate enough to be working full time as a performer, musician. Like, performance was my full-time gig, and so it had been several years since I had really done anything on the production side, sort of behind the camera, behind them, and so getting to come in, I started off first with the intention of the focus being social media, right? And then because and so I'm so happy with how my role with MIM has progressed and sort of where I've landed now. But yeah, getting to like dust off some old graphic design skills and then with projects that came after that, getting to lean more into scheduling and client relations, and has been so wonderful on so many levels. And again, had you asked me a year ago where I would be right now, wouldn't have thought for a second that I'd be as involved in production as I am. But I'm so thankful to be here.
Yeah, I am so thankful that your dreams were snatched away from you so that you could come and play on the internet with me.
It's great.
It's really great. Very grateful. I would have loved to have seen you in Row. I would have. I love the theater. I miss it. I do.
That was gonna be something really special. That's a hard one to, in thinking of the last year, and specifically those first couple of weeks of just how many small losses there were, how many our shows getting just so shockingly canceled, and just all of the small things that are so easy to excuse away and say, I have my health, my loved ones are safe and healthy, I can't complain, right? Like that immediately became the mindset.
Right.
But there were so many artistic endeavors that just got snatched up and never properly mourned. It's a hard one to.
Yeah. And I played that clip at the beginning of us doing the band thing at the play, and then we thought maybe we did that song share, that one virtual song share through SVT's Instagram, and then we tried sending back and forth some recordings, but it just I feel like we were just getting started as a band, and like getting. That was the first time I played bass in a show ever. I had to pick that up for that show, And I feel like we were just starting to develop something, and that was that was the second show to get canceled for me. Was we were the backing band for Mortified over at the North Door, and we did that like 3 or 4 times. Maybe it was going to be the 4th or 5th time, and then that was a question mark. And then I got the email like a few days beforehand, around the time South by was canceled and all that.
Right, which was sort of
yeah.
the first
Yeah.
red flag, right?
Right,
Where it's
right.
like, oh wait, they canceled South by. Like we don't even have a
Yeah.
case in Austin yet, and they've canceled South by.
I just have to say, if Scooter's still out there, like, let's start a band.
Right?
We'll figure it out.
Come join the Worry Folks.
Yeah,
Scooter.
there's like 30 people in the Worry
There's
Folk.
like-
Come on down.
Right.
Oh, hell
More
yes.
the merrier.
Cool.
We
Yeah.
got one.
All right, we got that. All right, well, that's the show, everybody. We hooked somebody. We have a new bandmate, and it's time for us to stop streaming. I'm just kidding.
Oh man.
Though
Yeah.
that's where we're at. I mean, it's like we had high hopes, and then we just kind of like, then in the long haul, the sort of reality set in that it's not easy to collaborate over the internet.
It is not easy, and
Yeah, you need somebody to produce the beats, like Scooter.
that's right.
And
yeah.
Ryan Wright would send like, drum tracks,
Right.
but like with the
Right.
with the actual drum kit, it's like I'm just figuring out how to play with the drummer for the first time. I played guitar by myself most of my life, like just fiddling alone, with the strings. And really in the last like 5 years, I started doing these like theater bands, and those started becoming like bands outside of the play, and that's how you and I started playing. I mean, that's how the Worry Folk started. It was a theater band, and then
3 years ago.
it's like cobbled together from 2 or 3 different theater bands.
Right.
And we did that show, Your Mother's Copy of the Kama Sutra, and which we won an award for, right? Did you? The band won an award for that, for featured musical. I can barely remember awards and.
Like what is an award?
We attended an award ceremony too this pandemic, the Be Iden Pains. You got like 3 of them, didn't you? Didn't you get at least one, right? Do you remember?
Yes, Butcher Baraboo.
But you're Baraboo.
Yes.
Yes, I did win. I did win a Grammy.
Right. Yes, for Gail in Butcher of Baraboo, featured actress in a comedy.
Nice.
Was incredible because that was the fellow women in that category with me are just complete powerhouses. So I was gobsmacked, gobsmacked by that one. But yeah, with music, like I feel like I for me at the beginning of the pandemic,
Excuse
I was
me.
like,
Live.
we're live. We're live. Well, we're sure to get a visit from one cat or another soon enough. But
So I want to switch cameras and clean.
oh no, did you spill?
It's good. Just keep
Okay.
talking. Keep it rolling. We're live, folks. We're
Gonna stretch. We're stretching. But no, I was just saying that at the beginning of the pandemic, for me, I started establishing all of these rules for myself of this is what I'm going to do every day. I'm going to play the guitar every day. I'm going to set up a Zoom call with a friend every day. I'm going to, thinking that structure would help me maintain sanity in some way. And then Zoom fatigue set in immediately. And music for me is always, she's a fickle mistress. And the thing that I love the most about it is being in the room with people and getting to make music together. Like
Exactly.
my soul is fueled by harmonies, and like so much of that joy and inspiration comes from sitting in your living room with five other people and whatever pile of instruments they've brought, and us just, okay, you play this and I'll play this, and then oh yeah, let's sing that again, and I want to try,
Hmm.
and so then when I realized that that wasn't an option anymore, even trying to do anything with those pre-recorded tracks, I was just like, I don't, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do, right? So then it was just, how do we maintain,
Yeah.
right? Like, what do we do just to take care of ourselves in this indeterminate stretch of time? Um, and that for me began to look like far less structure,
Mm.
that it was just, I'm going to sleep when I need to sleep. If I need to take a nap, I'm going to take a nap. If I need to, I'm not, I'm not worrying about food and how many times have I had French fries this week, because sometimes the French fries of the week were the only thing
Right.
the only thing that were really bringing joy and comfort. Um yeah, it was I feel like as the case numbers started to climb, all of the aspirations and plans, they just sort of passed each other like two really sad ships,
Mm.
you know? Mm.
Yeah. Like ships.
I know. Oh.
uh,
Oh.
little song for my
Flashback to
wedding
the wedding
day.
at the end of the
Yeah.
universe.
It was. I got married January 1st, and that was pretty much pretty. We sapped up all the good energy for the year, and we're sorry for that. um, but
Uh,
yeah, uh, yeah. I think we're at this, like, point in the show where we're talking about embracing, you know a little bit what the reality of what's going on. And yeah, for me, it kind of actually, in a weird way, went another way. Like I started getting, I feel like, more in tune with structures, like, because I was in a lot of ways forced to make my own structure.
mhm.
And then I have like a list, like a morning routine list that kind of developed, that are just like basic stuff that I think a lot of people don't need to be reminded of, like prepare for breakfast, prepare breakfast or, put away the dishes, then go outside and meditate, then come back and do the last night's dishes, then prepare for breakfast, then have breakfast, like, do a little bit of listening at some, don't forget to listen to an album or something in the day. Cause there was this moment when, yeah, it was like, can we trust that anything is going to happen, that any project that we take on at this point, or that any event is actually going to happen? And time just kind of became amorphous for a while there. It still feels that way, but it was, yeah, it was as if it just kind of stretched out a little bit. And I think a lot of people were forced to take a break finally, for the first time in a while, and I certainly was one of those people. Like, I was just forced to. Otherwise, I won't. I'm kind of a workaholic, and I don't like that. Like, as a, I don't. I'm not proud of that. I think a lot of people are proud of their workaholism, and I'm trying not to do that with my life. I'm trying to, like, also remember to breathe and meditate and take naps every once in a while, go to sleep every once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all just kind of stretched out there, and my schedule became whatever it wanted to be, like. And then I started to track that, through these routines. So it's like in a weird way, my life became a little bit more structured, or at least structured in a way that worked for me.
Yeah, that suits you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. That was one thing, one of my earliest epiphanies, I guess, in maybe a month in that forced pause, was realizing how unsustainable my life had been to that point.
Right,
that doing 50, 60 shows in a month and working 60, 70-hour work weeks with no days off and no real autonomy over my own schedule and vacations. What is that? After a few weeks of full stop, realizing that how much I needed that and how much the path that I was on was not sustainable.
Yeah.
And right. And so, I hope that has been the case for most people, that having that little, yeah, Scooter says, I started napping recently. It's pretty dope. I was missing out. Yes.
Right.
Right. That we're hopefully listening to our own bodies and our own internal clocks and learning how to give ourselves what we need, and hopefully we'll be able to carry that over into the other side. It's like the before times and then the other side, and right now we're just swimming in the time soup.
Yeah, time soup.
Soup. My best friend Sarah Beth called it that, like 2 months in, and I was like, that is it exactly. We are swimming in time soup.
I feel that. Yeah, I definitely feel that. And I think that is a good segue.
Speaking of segues.
To my clip about segues.
The actual segues.
Oh man, our segue tours, have those been happening this whole time, oblivious, I wonder, in their own little segue bubble? They probably stopped them at some point.
Probably. Although I did see a new segue thing that looks like a combination of like a big chopper motorcycle and like a rascal scooter.
Nice.
Like
has it got wind guards? I think they need wind guards now.
I think it may have had a wind guard. But it was sort of like a Vespa seat and little footrest, but then with like the chopper front, and it was a whole gaggle of them.
Oh no! Okay, they're doing it. Those maniacs.
So Segway has segued away.
Whoa.
and now we've got a new, hopefully slightly safer than the little razor scooters.
I never rode one. I never got to do it.
Once.
Once.
Like, check.
Ride a Segway once in your life.
I never got to ride a Segway. No, I never rode a Segway. But the smaller little death blades is what they feel like when you're on them.
Death blades.
the scooter.
Oh,
the rental scooter thing.
Yeah, the death trap. Yeah, like death blades.
Souped up razor scooters.
I know so many people who
terrifying
have injuries from those. Yeah, still, yeah.
Terrifying.
I don't know whether to play. I feel like, because that was kind of a good segue to like, let's talk about what we're watching, because that's at a certain point in the pandemic, I think everyone, binged some things, and I could play that clip from MimCon 2020. Are we ready to do that, or do you want to see the second Sizzler reel first with
Ooh.
I feel like, also, this is a live show. I need a bio break. I need 5 minutes. So I'm gonna play, if that's all right with you. I'm gonna play the MimCon thing.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Well, absolutely. I think that's a good idea. Let's set it up a little bit. So,
because it's like time soup,
Time soup, man.
That's right there.
So for Mike's birthday, a bunch of us got together and we hosted a MemCon.
A
We had
virtual convention.
a virtual convention, right? And so we had a keynote session. We had um, um, sort of show and tell, and then we did LaRonde style interview segments. And the whole evening ended up being, we started in the afternoon and went until 9:30 or 10 at night, maybe even
I
later.
think like
I feel
midnight,
it
probably.
ended
Yeah.
up being, it was about 8 hours all told. But we've been reviewing that footage, and which was from December 18th of
That's
2020,
right.
right?
You know my birthday.
Um, but in reviewing that footage, it was like, oh, there's so much good stuff here. And one thing that we like to do is make these, what media are you watching? What shows are you watching? What should we watch? What are we, just that knowledge swap, right? And so we've got an edit. I think it's in process.
Yeah.
But there was just too much good stuff from those 8 hours that we've started to cull it down a little bit into, right now it's a 14-minute video. Is that right?
About, yep.
Yeah, coming in right at 14 minutes. So it's sort of like a nice little time capsule, and check in with everybody about what they've been watching and what they've been creating, and it was a good time.
Yeah, these are the things I make people do for my birthday. I make them attend a convention for me. But this is, I want to say, this is like one of your second, third, fourth things to ever video edit. Like, you just started video editing during the pandemic, right?
This
Like,
is true.
This is like your second or third thing.
My second, yeah.
Second, yeah.
So there are no Easter eggs in this one. There are plenty of
Yeah.
there are plenty of rough edits, but again, in process.
Right. And that's kind of like what I this part I'm actually particularly excited about, because this is one of those times where we can watch something that we both know it's not done yet, but we're gonna watch it. Like, we got to watch it in its current state and take notes, like time-coded notes, and talk about afterwards like where we think the edit is going. And and like Scooter says in the chat, like, video editing is a fun video game. It's a fun, it's the best video game. It is, because after the video game you have a very tangible product from your video game toils.
Yeah. And with the first, it's one of those things that for years I've been like, oh yeah, I should figure out Premiere. Oh, I should mess around in Photoshop. But then I am definitely a deadline and project motivated person.
Yeah.
So I kind of need to do it. And so for the first, with the first project, it was just like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And it was more structured. Like, I knew exactly what needed to go where. And so it was such a great learning curve. And then got to the end of that one and I was like, oh, I really like this.
Yes.
This is something I thoroughly enjoy, and felt that a wholly new creative spark. So, yeah.
Well, so Leroy asks, are you Ira Glass? And so because he asks that...
Oh, you got to do it.
I don't know if Leroy knows, but I did used to do a show called Not This American Life, because we got a cease and desist from Ira Glass for This American Live. But then we talked it out with Ira and his producer, Seth Lind, and they agreed that Not This American Life would be all right. So I do have a little bit of an Ira Glass impression somewhere in the back of my mind from like 6 years ago. I don't do it much anymore because it hurts my voice, but I will introduce this clip.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, let's see if I can conjure. We're doing MemCon. Okay. Okay. Hey, podcast listeners. Each week on our show, we pick a different Netflix show to watch, and then we watch it all in a couple of nights. And it's terrible. I used to improvise in this voice all the time. I got nothing now.
Oh, man.
Here we go. Act 1, Make Every Media Convention 2020. One man, one birthday, one forced socialization at a distance. Draft 1, MimCon 2020. Here we go. Tom, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you, man. It's so good to see you and hear you.
It's good to see you. I know it's been forever.
As most of us have now likely celebrated a birthday during this isolated, quarantined time, do you have any birthday traditions, or are you having to pivot to celebrate differently this year? Like how are you celebrating this year in ways that you normally would, or in new ways?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I feel like this is almost a callback to older traditions that I had kind of put a pause on. Like I used to always do some kind of giant creative project, Exquisite Corpse or something on my birthday. But this year, it's like I miss everybody, and I wanna just make some big weird monster.
So hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Amber.
Welcome to MimCon 2020. Thanks for being here. It feels like I'm doing the right thing for my birthday.
Yeah, I agree. I fully endorse your birthday plan. I'm already having a ball, and we're
Nice.
an hour in.
Yeah.
So I know we've been making media for work and stuff, but I'm more curious, like, what kind of media have you been making on your own through 2020?
A tiny little bit of painting.
I've been doing a lot of songwriting, a lot of recording.
I was like, I'm finally going to figure out water marbling, and just started experimenting. And
Good morning, I love you. I mean, good afternoon, I love you.
Yeah.
You've got like hundreds of episodes now. I've been checking in. You're pretty great at that routine. How do you do it?
What I wanted to do, I went through a breakup. I was feeling sorry for myself, and one day I put I don't have anybody good to say good night, I love you to. So I started putting it on Facebook, and people started reacting to it. And whenever I thought, okay, I'm better now, let's stop doing it, someone would come to me and say, it really means so much when I see good morning, I love you, and good night, I love you on Facebook. And I wanted to do a podcast, and I thought, well, people seem to like this good morning, I love you thing, and I didn't want to have to book anybody or anything. So I thought, okay. And it's basically your daily dose of positive stuff to help start your day off right. I just wanted to create something that would be like your morning cup of coffee.
done a little bit of crocheting.
Here's this.
That's awesome.
Well, this is just paint floating around on water, so
Right, that's me with my very mediocre music skills. You can all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is going through the entire Beatles catalog. It picked out little clips to put them together to remake that. Let me put it into this project. Cool.
That's awesome. That's great.
I'm calling it Spotify or Shallow Hacks. My dream is kind of to make a karaoke machine where you sing into the mic, but the real version of the song comes out. But you have to kind of get it close, otherwise it kind of messes up.
It's the goof of all time. Look, but don't touch. Thank you.
I was just gonna say I can turn that into the Beatles for you if you want.
Let's talk about media, shall we?
yes,
Is that what we want to talk about?
sure.
I've been watching like popcorn media over
Ooh,
and
what you watching?
like guys grocery games and every iteration of that. It's fake, right? Like it's like literally it's kind of like home improvement television in that you know exactly what's going to happen, and therefore you can like only turn your brain on for the 1% that'll be different. You know, it's like blah blah blah, colors. They're cooking, turn on your brain. Enchiladas. Turn your brain off. Watch the rest of the show. And I've just been doing that on a loop.
Muppets Now. It's like Muppets for the internet age. Like they're putting together an online show, and then every episode has a segment with the Swedish Chef, a cooking show, like a reality cooking show, with where the Swedish Chef pairs up with is versus a professional chef, and they try to make the same dish. So there's one where he's trying to make mole, and it's like. He brings up a mole. He's like, mole. That's the most I've laughed during the whole pandemic.
Wrapping the mole in tortillas.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cozy.
It's nice. It's nice.
A Late Show with Stephen Colbert has been such a marker, such a daily marker and check-in when they take holiday breaks. I'm like, no, come back. No, please come back.
Midnight Gospel. Yeah.
Midnight Gospel.
I highly, highly, highly recommend.
I watched The Queen's Gambit. That was really good.
I just finished The Flight Attendant last night. The story of a broken woman that doesn't play into the usual tropes.
It's called Dungeons and Daddies.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not a BDSM podcast.
Yeah.
It's the D&D podcast.
You never know where it's gonna go.
A show that Beth Burns recommended, Beforeigners. That's an incredible show. Lots of escapism for sure.
Yeah.
Binge watching Chinese soap operas are kind of my favorite thing right now. I really, a lot of them are on YouTube for free because China is all about that soft power right now. So, yeah, and generally the ones about the harems of emperors, and there's just so much like, for one, it's gorgeous because it's costume drama, so it's just like all these incredible headpieces and gowns, and against the backdrop of the Forbidden City, and then on top of it, all of the usual, like, I'm gonna frame you for murder, and I'm gonna, poison you so you never get pregnant ever, and all kinds of shenanigans. It's good, one, because it's a story, and it's just, narrative pulls you out of your own world, but then also because it's in Chinese and I have to really focus on the subtitles to be able to catch everything, it just, there's that added layer of focus I have to give it so that I can't, have that nagging issue in the back of my head that's like, oh, but what about, your paperwork that needs to be done? It's like, no time for that. I have to read subtitles.
I think my favorite piece of media that I've consumed this year would probably be Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country completely shook me.
It's very good. I mean, everybody's gonna say The Mandalorian, right? Like,
But yes, Mandalorian.
I don't want to talk about The Mandalorian because that just came out today.
Yeah, no.
We won't even talk about it at all. Around the holidays, around December, January, that's like my time when I watch all of my space shows, I think.
I think that is true. I mean, like, right now we just finished up a season of The Mandalorian. We had 2 separate Star Trek shows running in the last 20 weeks, right? Lower Decks and Discovery. So this holiday season has definitely been loaded with a lot of space stuff. The Expanse just came out with a new season that's running now. Yeah, season 5. So yeah, it's a good time to be in space, I guess.
And Moonbase 8.
Oh, that's right. Avenue 5, Moonbase 8 with John C. Reilly. Oh, Avenue 5. Do you want to talk about it, Wyatt?
I truly loved that show, and I was very surprised at how well it predicted how we would handle a pandemic. As Earth people, they have a similar sort of like situation that they know the smart thing to do, and the people do not do the smart thing.
Yeah, that's sci-fi in general. It's like the worst part of space travel is that you have to take humans with you. So it's like anything terrible about Earth, you're just smearing it across the universe in space travel.
Yeah, well, I was going to say
imperialism.
Megan, yeah, you were talking about your imperialist China dramas, and basically I've been watching an older show called Dark Matter, which is
Oh, yeah.
basically the same story that you're watching with an empress who has stolen like the planet from the rightful heir, the sun. She's controlling it, and yeah, it's basically the same thing, but in space, and they still have swords and stuff.
I don't think anybody can take what I'm saying seriously because of this. Yeah. Now I can be taken seriously again.
What has kept you grounded during this quarantine?
The only thing I have is the sunsets and sunrises. Like those have become like hallowed time almost. Like if it is approaching sunset and I haven't been outside, I will go out there and just stay out there as long as I can. Even just like watching the constellations and the moon and the like all the astronomy that's happening all around us is grounding. It keeps me more in tune with like the passage of the year, which honestly I've never been great at. The seasons, it feels like I'm always a season behind. But I feel more in tune with this year somehow, because I've been forced to be at home with nothing to watch but the sky. So
On a lighter space note, I don't know if you guys know where to find Jupiter and Saturn, but they're gonna like be within, I think, like a 1/10 of a degree of each other on the 21st on Monday, which is pretty cool. It's supposed to be like the Christmas star.
Yeah.
Little star in the sky. I've been watching them slowly, like
they've been getting
over
closer
the last
and
few
closer
months.
together.
Yeah. And you can see
Pretty
Mars
cool.
too. It's the only yellow star if you look straight up.
Mm-hmm. Fun space facts. Hammock time is the thing above the ground has kept me the most grounded, I think.
I guess the biggest self-care improvement that's fairly new to the pandemic is that I've been doing a lot of walking in the woods. Like 2 or 3 times a week, I try to get out there and walk for a few miles. To me, that's so refreshing and restorative, and just makes me feel in a much better mood, despite the fact that it also like fills my face with allergens.
I tell them at the beginning that I value relationship over task, and that we're going to start with relationship before we do anything else. And I do something that's called news and goods. So everybody says something that's new and good in their life. Groups of 3 or 4 are always really good, because if someone dropped out, oh well. And then they would just chat about what was new and good that day. And these are all students that didn't know each other at the beginning. And I wondered if it was helping. And at the end of the semester, I will say that students, many students said the check-ins were the thing that really, really helped them. Like that was sometimes the only time they spoke to another person the whole day.
I will be happy when we are all vaccinated and able to see each other in person, but I also don't want to like lose the kinds of connections that are happening now that like I almost would not have even had time for. Like I just let live events suck me in. It's like, what play are we seeing? What two or three plays are we seeing this weekend? But this has really like forced a lot of people, I think, to like reach out to old friends, and I just want to keep doing that. I want more of that.
Yeah.
I want to, yeah.
Combine.
Bring
it all.
Bring together our past and our present, and
absolutely,
and build a future together. Just that in 2021, and make Mother Earth great again.
Yes. Amen. So mote it be.
Our job is to figure out what our gifts are and how can we use them to help people.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets distracted by I need to be a star. And that's, are you trying to give or you're trying to get? And that's when you're trying to get. And you are trying to give now.
Trying.
Yep. Good work.
That feels like a lifetime ago.
Right? Good work. Great edit. I don't really have that many notes. Like, there's like little things I would trim, and I do some zooming in to like pick up the pace, But yeah, the only thing I did change was like the music levels were a little loud, but I brought him down just to make sure. I just brought him down across the board just to make sure we could hear everybody. But you're awesome at editing.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's really fun. It's amazing. And you know, with the first project, I was just coming in to pick up one piece of a much larger puzzle that you and Stephanie Bussing were doing so much heavy lifting on. And it's something that I've always respected. My last roommate in New York before I moved to Austin, he was a filmmaker who directed, edited Heaven Adores You, which is a beautiful Elliott Smith documentary. If there are any Elliott Smith fans out there, I had the pleasure of living with him while he was editing it together. And so I always had this respect and appreciation of the work. And then working on our project and actually doing it for myself, it was like, I didn't even know what I didn't know. You know? And you and Stephanie in that moment just became these heroes in my eyes, because I was like, wow, this is so much work, and the two of you make it seem so effortless. So I'm appreciating learning a new skill, and also very aware of how much I have to learn.
Yeah, it's a part of the video game, right? Like, the goal is to make it look so smooth that nobody notices how much work you did, but then at the same time, like, I mean, when we were erasing those anachronistic lights from a historical documentary, blurring them out, like, piece by piece, like, oh my gosh, I wish people knew how much we spent on that. I would kind of wish I could have been like, put a little title.
In the lower third that's just saying, like,
by the way, these 30 seconds took 10 hours. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I'd love to just go ahead and show some film stuff that we've done since August, I think. Since around that time when we were just like leaning into, we have no idea how long this is going to last. We started taking some remote production gigs. And, you know, we filmed a little bit socially distanced, but then that became unsafe. Even the little amount that we were doing felt unsafe. We were following all the rules and everything.
Right.
But so I'd love to just show this next clip, which is kind of a trajectory of a few different pieces that we worked on.
Yeah, that's sort of what August to present.
I think so. August to February. Yeah.
August to February.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's do it. Any other setup for you? Or
You roll that beautiful beat.
Roll it.
Oh, hello. My name is Conchita Acosta Benitez Chavez Davila Estrada Flores Gutierrez Hernandez Iglesias Juarez Lopez Marquez Nieves Ortiz Perez Quiros Rodriguez Sanchez Torres Susana Velasquez Ibarra Zapata Jones Eglyph 33 Prism Spoke Squeeze. Welcome to my home. And as we say in the film industry, my name is Conchita Acosta Benitez Chavez Davila Estrada Flores Gutierrez Hernandez Iglesias Juarez Lopez Marquez Nieves Ortiz Perez Quiros Rodriguez Sanchez Torres Susana Velasquez Ibarra Zapata Jones Eglyph 33 Prism Spoke Squeeze. Welcome to my home. And as we say in the film industry, I'm just finishing up last looks before heading out to the All Genders, Lifestyles and Identities Film Festival. Oh, cashews. Oh. You can cut that out, right?
That's one shot.
One take. What is this, Birdman? I know what you're thinking. What, sweetheart? I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing you over the surf and the volleyball players. What is this dream I see? Why does it seem so real to me? What if this dream turns out to be
you'll be able to see all the different sessions available on the left-hand side. These are all the different rooms that you can click on and see a brief synopsis on what each session is about. Right now, you can see that this specific session hasn't started yet, which is why you're seeing this wait screen. When the session goes live, you'll be prompted to click on the image and be taken to the live Zoom session. If you're familiar with Zoom, you know about the chat feature. But in this conference, you have another way to engage with people before and after the Zoom sessions on the right-hand side here. This is a public lobby chat that allows you to post any comments or questions that you might have on this specific session. These public chats exist on every session page and right here in the main lobby as well. All those messages are synced up to the notifications that I just got, and you'll be able to reply back to them. You can connect and talk back and forth, and they'll also get notifications. And if you like, you can jump on a quick video call or audio call with them. Just coordinate over the text chat and see if they're free to jump on a video call first.
This is Air Meat, and looks like Amber is already at her table. I'm going to go check out Tyler's table real quick. Be right back. And then Tyler is already at her table over here. So I can join that. And it's Tyler's table. Rooftop lounge. Here's the conference room. Each of these is a whiteboard. Different whiteboard. Let's see what's happening in the media lounge. Ah, Tyler and Amber are here.
Come join us.
Hey, y'all co-working?
That's what the corner's for.
And look, it's Bernie.
Oh my god, look at those couches.
What's cool about this is there could be a little group up here gathering by the couches, and when you get close to them, their videos and sound connects. So it's just like real life. When you walk into a group, you start to hear.
I love it.
Go in the hall. We haven't done the green room yet, but that's coming. And you can go into the theater.
Oh my god. That's so cute.
Well, but when you get onto the stage, you are in the spotlight, and your video shares with anybody who's in this gather town. So we could do jams or shows or whatever. Even add a room, we can go out this way and add a little parking lot space.
Yes, at a parking lot.
The years 1871 to 1883 in Austin were intoxicating.
When did it all change? I'll tell you. Christmas 1871, when Austin got a Christmas present. What everyone had been waiting decades for, the train.
Austin is becoming the Empire City of the Southwest. Why not? New people, new ideas. We even got ourselves an ice cream parlor.
Visit austinhistory.net to get your ticket and experience how trains put Austin on the map.
All aboard! All aboard!
All aboard!
So yeah, we kind of figured out how to do it, how to bring people together after a while. Like, we kind of figured it out. Thanks, Scooter. Scooter was a part of that. Scooter was a part of that Imago thing. Like, he was a huge part of that. I'm so glad that you're here, that you're a part of our audience here tonight, Scooter.
It just makes this weird year in review so much more special.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scooter.
And I'm glad you're here too, Leroy.
Yeah, thanks, Leroy. Nice
Thanks,
to meet you,
Leroy
Leroy.
Sakowitz. Do I know you? But thank you for being here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's been that's been sort of the ultimate challenge, right? Because you were saying that at the beginning of the pandemic, like you were so ready to say, like, we're ready to go on streaming services, and we've got, check out our Twitch channel, and we're already set up on that level. But then it's like the challenge became so much greater of how do we recreate to the best of our ability? How do we simulate this interaction, this personal connection? And I feel like with each project, we've gotten a little bit closer to realizing what are the things that drain us immediately, like just sitting on a Zoom call for hours and hours, or what, and then what are the things that allow for a little bit more freedom of movement and autonomy, and yeah, I love that clip.